Complex recently released their top 25 power rankings of sneaker creators and collaborators. And I have to ask, is Patta underrated on this list? I'm going to talk about that this time on Fire Footwear. Welcome back to Fire Footwear, everybody. As always, I'm your host, Matt Freites, and today we're going to talk about Complex's top 25 sneaker creators and collaborators power rankings. Here's the thing. Complex is in the game of clicks. Whenever they make lists like this, and you see these in sports a lot, they're made to divide. They're made to cause controversy. I consider it faux controversy, but it's controversy nonetheless. And when you look at Complex's list, you see a lot of familiar faces. And the one that jumps out to me is Travis Scott at number 1. This is no shade at Travis Scott. Obviously, whenever he releases a shoe, it sells out, people continue to pay resale for it, and that to me is a sign of strength. And there are other names on that list that obviously represent strength in this community. James Whitner, Ronnie Fieg, Joe Freshgoods. But when I look at this list, I feel like there are a lot of up-and-comers or even brands that have been around a long time that aren't getting enough flowers. And an example of that is Patta. Patta comes in at number 20 on this list. And many people aren't necessarily as familiar with the Amsterdam brand than maybe a lot of older people in this culture are. If you're younger, do you remember the release in 2009 of the Air Max 1 Chlorophyll? And if not, did the re-release actually hit the radar for you? That shoe sold out instantly, and it's a fire shoe. There are many people that are comparing the 2009 version and the 2024 version and seeing differences, whether it's in materials, whether it's in colors, and that happens from time to time. Nike and Jordan Brand don't always get it right. We see that in Jordan Retros all the time with shape, with color, with materials, cuts of the materials, you name it. And yet, Patta still is around. They're celebrating their 20th anniversary, and they started as a really small store that was sourcing rare shoes. Because remember, back in the 2000s, it wasn't the way that it is today. Now, we can pick up our phones and get basically anything that we want. Even if it's on the resale market, we have the access. We have the ability to get something. We don't have to rely on somebody getting a rare piece. We don't have to rely on some store going to source that.
Yes! I am invincible!
And yet, Patta, over the years, through that work, and then getting the recognition from brands like Adidas, Asics, New Balance, and then eventually Nike, they rose through the ranks, and 20 years later, they're still here. And yet Complex puts them at number 20, and you might think, well, what do you mean? You're the 20th best collaborator in the space. But they missed a lot of opportunities when making that list, in my opinion. Salehi Bembury being at number 8. That guy is doing something that nobody else on this list is doing. He's not just designing straight up Crocs and putting different colors on them, like Travis Scott does on Jordan 1s. He's creating completely new looking Crocs. And now taking that design and creating new silhouettes and actual shoes from them. That's amazing. Wales Bonner took the Adidas Samba and made it a shoe that people saw, myself included, as just an indoor soccer shoe and made it the hype shoe for like a 2-year period. And her resume is unbelievable. And she comes in at number 9. And look, people like Joe Freshgoods, people like Ronnie Fieg, Kith is obviously a recognizable brand, so much so that some people will only go to Kiss to do their sneaker shopping when they go out shopping. And that's a big deal. He's had the longevity. So if we're giving him the flowers, why are we not giving Patta the flowers in return? Just something that I wonder. But when I really break it down, Complex is in the business of clicks. They always have been. I've been very critical of Complex, and some people think unjustifiably so. But Complex really doesn't look down at people like me. They don't look down to get the boots on the ground perspective of people that are actually embedded in the culture. And when they look at creators even, they're trying to make sure that these people still come on their shows, still promote their shows. And that's what they're really in the business of. Do you feel like Complex does a disservice to some of the creators in this space? And were you able to cop the Air Max 1 Chlorophyll? I'd love to know down in the comments. And if you want to reach out, look at the voicemail, call, leave me a story, leave me an opinion. I would love to hear from you. Hope this finds everybody well. I hope this finds everybody safe. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I'll see you next time. This is Fire Footwear.